Alright, I'm going to go over some of the parts you're going to need to build your PLC trainer for this class. And this is an example of the items that we have here. And started off with a 24 volt 1 amp power supply. Any one of these will do. You'll need a minimum of 1 amp. And I got this one because it has the little adapter down here to plug into the power supply cord, and then I can take those wires off and wire them into the PLC. You could also cut that little end off and strip your wires back and directly wire this into the PLC. Next you're going to need are 6 LEDs. This is the type that I got here, and you can see that it's $6.99 for all 6 of them there, and get you set up. This particular vendor only has 12 of them left in stock, but there's tons more of them out there. I'll show you that in a moment. Then I went ahead and got 2 limit switches. We got these roller limit switches, $10 for those 2. Any switch, any normally closed switch will work with this, and I'm going to show you some other examples momentarily here. And then finally you'll need 6 push buttons, and these are nice because they're both normally closed and normally open, so that you can set them up however it's specified in the lab. We have both normally open and normally closed switches specified. So I'm looking at this here. I've got $46.93, and that's all of your push buttons and switches, but you can do it for much less than that. So I'm going to back up here and show you the LEDs. You can see all the different LEDs. Here's one company that's got 5 different colors, total of 10 of them. You're only going to have 6 outputs, but this will get you a wide range of colors if you'd rather do that, and there's nothing wrong there. Here's something, the red, yellow, and green, and it looks like there's enough here to supply 2 people. So if you wanted to go in, a couple of you wanted to go in on that, you could split the cost there. And again, going down and showing you all the various LEDs that are open. I selected this type of LED because it did not require a soldering iron to put together. Now I can go back and get rid of the 22 millimeter. That was my search right here, red, yellow, green LED 22 millimeter. And if I just change the red, yellow, green LED, you'll see all types of things. You want to make sure you get something that's good for 24 volts. A lot of these LEDs are 2 volts, 3 volts, in this case 12 volts. So let's come up here and type 24V. And that brings back these that we had. And let's see if there's anything. Let's see, these are 12 volts. Again, 12 volts. So pretty much 24 volts. These round ones are what's going to show up. Now, we're going to come back up here and we're going to say push buttons. Normally open. Oh my. Here's a bunch of push buttons. Now if you have a soldering iron, these are great. You've got some normally open push buttons. Now make sure your push buttons are momentary. So you want these momentary push buttons, otherwise you're going to be scratching your head when you're programming, wondering why it doesn't quite work right. And these are all normally open. What you could get, normally open, and see. So if we look at these, we come through here, and here's one where you've got all the push buttons you need. It's got, interesting, I'm going to take that back. It says 1 normally open, 1 normally closed. So I'm guessing that you're going to have 5 normally open and 5 normally closed. So that would be okay. I'm looking to see if they get into more details on that. And it doesn't say. So this is kind of an iffy one. Let's go back and see what else we can find. And essentially what you want are some normally open and normally closed. Here's some right here. You see you've got a center terminal that's common, or the end terminal that's common, and then normally open and normally closed. So you can solder these up to however you want. Okay, and there you go. You've got $10 for all your switches. And let's see, what was that? So I went with these. Let's go look at the card again. So our switch cost, I got 2 of those and 1 of those. So that's what I was looking at there. So we're looking at $10, $20, $30 for the switches. You guys can do much better than that if you've got a solder and iron. I use these switches here because they're industrial type switches, and you know, make an industrial looking trainer. But again, you don't have to. There's nothing wrong with these here, and these would work for all of your inputs, because you could use the normally closed ones for your limit switches and your normally open ones as specified, and your normally closed ones as the other buttons. So this group would work fine, and you'd be saving $20 on that. Okay, but it really is what you want to do and what kind of budget you have, and you can get by on doing this for a lot less money. So anyway, you go through there and you can see a lot of different button choices that are out there. And be sure you watch the video that I have up there on other PLC projects that are done by students. And then you need to get yourself an enclosure. So you get a plastic toolbox, something like this. Okay, that's getting up there. Let's go down here and let's put $10 as the maximum price. Okay, let's see what we get for $10. I don't see much of anything here. Wow. $10 doesn't get as much here for plastic toolboxes. Well, here's something. There you go. I wonder how big that is. It's a plain old box. Looks like you could slide your PLC in there, put your wires on there, and that's a possibility. That would be a little tight. I'm looking at the dimensions here, and that would end up being kind of tight, cramming everything in there. So let's skip that one. And if we go down here, keep looking here, I'm getting everything but toolboxes. Okay, there we go. Again, the toolboxes come up and you can see the prices there. And I'm going to put, let me put $12 and see. So something like this, all right? Any of these right here, okay? That would be great. The PLC would fit in it. Wonder why this one is. Okay. So what you can do is you can mount your push buttons on the top here and your LEDs on the top here. Put your PLC inside. And you'd be good to go and wire this all up and work with it. And let's see, you can see different ones. I've had students use this one here. They put little connectors and fuses and whatever things in these boxes, and then put the lights and the push buttons on the front. So right now, gather everything up, get a nice box. Another place to get. If you go to Harbor Freight, put in closure, and let's see, what are they calling these things here? Case. So let's just go look at case. Alright, these are up there. A lot of students have used this one. It's a $30 case, and it works really well with the PLCs. And is there a way to short by low to high? There we go. There's an ammo can that'll probably, again, that's too tight. And here you go. This one here is just perfect. $15, aluminum case, everything will fit in there just fine. Okay, and gives you an idea of what you can search for as far as getting the parts. So start getting those parts together. I'm going to have more information about the PLC shortly, and away we go.